Hello, bookish friends. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Drew, and this is Drew's Ambitious Reading. And for today's video, I am very excited to come at you with a video I do every single season and every single year. It's my largely ambitious fall TBR. Now, this fall is a lot. Our weather is finally cooling down from where we are, so I'm already feeling like the fallness here, which is amazing because I was tired of this desert heat. I have a lot of books here, as you can see from this giant stack. This stack was actually inspired by my current read right now. But before we jump into my current read, the reason why we are here is because it's my fall TBR. And for the month of fall, I'm doing this for the next 3 months. So, September, which is halfway through the month right now, so sorry this is coming out late, but September, October, November, and maybe December. I know that's 4 months, but maybe December, we shall see. But let's jump into the video because it's going to be a long one, so grab a snack, grab a blanket, grab a drink. I have my hydro next to me in case we need a water break, and let's just jump into the video, shall we? So, for my book club, the next 3 months, we are reading a lot of amazing sequels, so I want to talk about my book club. If you don't know, I have a book club called Queer Reads, where we read queer and own diverse voices and marginalized voices as well. We read one new release, sometimes 2 new releases, depending if me and my co-host can agree. My co-host is Jess over at Pisces Lovers Books on Instagram, I believe. I'll leave her correct username down in the description below. Anybody I mentioned throughout this video will be left down below as well. But anyways, I want to talk about my fall lineup. So for the month of October, we are reading a sequel I am anticipating, and I literally just bought this one this week, so we will see this in my September book haul. But that is the stunning Barnes & Noble edition of Celestial Monsters by Aiden Thomas. This is the second and final book in the Sunbearer Trials duology. I'm not sure what the actual name of this series is called, but the first one is The Sunbearer. I read that last fall. Absolutely loved it. This is perfect for fans of Percy Jackson and The Hunger Games. If you love those 2 fandoms, this is literally what this is, but it has more gods and like monsters type of things. Since this is a sequel, I can't really say too much about it. But just know, if you read book 1 last year in the fall with us and you loved it as much as I did, that cliffhanger at the end of book 1, I am still pretty pissed about. So I'm excited to see, but also nervous to see how this wraps up the series. For the month of November, we're going to be reading Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is a new short story, or just a novella itself, part of the Caraval universe. This is a holiday short story that Stephanie Garber is releasing in the month of October, but we're going to be reading this in November. It's one of mine and Jessica's most anticipated reads of the year, so we decided how fun it will be to do another holiday story for the holiday season. And speaking of holiday stories, we have another romance novel that we're going to read this year. And to end the month of 2024 off with The Mr. Marius by Timothy Jablonski. This is our December pick for the book club. This is the last and final book of the book club for 2024, obviously. This one comes out in October as well, I think the same day as Spectacular comes out, so definitely go get your copies while you can. And I'm so stoked to be reading this with my group of friends. I feel like reading holiday stories would be a blast. Now let's jump into my really ambitious list of books I have here. Some of these are sequels, some of these are first book, but the book that kind of inspired this list was As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the 3rd and final book of the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, and oh my goodness, I am loving this one. I am about 130 pages in, so not too bad, but not where I wanted to be at the end of tonight. But I'm really enjoying this one. This is a finale of this trilogy, so I can't really talk too much about it, so I'm going to move on very quickly. But I'm currently reading this, and hopefully you'll see this in my September wrap-up. The next one I have is a first book in a duology, and this one I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about. And actually, my mom bought a copy of this book She bought the paperback edition because she said the cover was super pretty and the book itself sounded interesting, but she didn't realize I already owned it. And that was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is the first of a duology. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this one. I just wrapped up her young adult duology, the Divine Rival series. Absolutely love that one, so I'm excited to see if I will love this one as well. If this one is anything like her young adult series, I'm pretty stoked for this. I do know this is like adult fantasy with a little bit of historical in here, I think. And I know my friend Karen from Books and Butter on Instagram, she really loves Rebecca Ross, so I'm excited to start this one this fall. Next one I have is a YA thriller standalone novel, and it's by an auto-buy author for me, and that is Karen M. McManus' newest thriller, and that is Such Charming Liars by Karen M. McManus. This is a YA thriller standalone novel. I don't know too much about it, and I usually keep my books kind of blindly, I guess. But it says, for all Kat's life, it's just been her and her mother, Jamie, except for the 48 hours when Jamie was married and Kat had a stepbrother, Liam. That's all ended in an epic divorce, and Kat and Liam haven't spoken ever since. So, family drama ensues. It's one of my most anticipated reads from the summertime, and I just never got around to reading it this summer. So, hopefully I will this fall. If I don't, I'm going to be very upset with myself, because I love Karen's writing. The next one I have is a first of a series, and that is That Selfsame Metal by Brittany Ann Williams. This is a first book in a new fantasy series, and it's actually going to become a trilogy, and book 3 is slated to come out in 2025. The cover for this series is stunning. This is the cover for book 2. I won this one in a Goodreads giveaway recently, and by recently I mean this summer. So again, another book I never got to this time around, but hopefully I will again this summer. I feel like I'm repeating myself. This is a Shakespeare retelling. I'm not sure what retelling exactly, but Lee Bardugo says a fresh take on fairy magic. So if the Queen of Fantasy says it's a fresh take, I'm so excited, and I love a good fae story, so sign me up. Next I have is another first book of a series, and book 2 comes out in October, and that is Champion of Fate by Kendar Blake. I bought this book last year, and I just never got around to it, so it's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while now, and I'm kind of mad about it, because Kendar Blake is another fantasy auto-buy author for me. She's actually like one of those top 5s for me, at least. I don't know about you guys, but this is the first book in a spin-off series to the Three Dark Crowns series, so I would suggest reading that one first before jumping into this one. But book 2, Warrior of the Legend, comes out in October, so hopefully I can read this before book 2 comes out, and then go ahead and obviously wrap up the duology. It is only a duology, which is perfect for me because I don't have to wait for like that 3rd installment, so that will be really cool. Next I have is another first book of a spin-off series, and that is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is book 1 of the spin-off series to the Inheritance Game series, which I just read and loved. I just wrapped up that series this fall. You'll see that in my September wrap-up. I was going to start this one right away, but the audiobook hold was like 8 weeks long. When I first put it on hold, I'm not sure what it's at now, but it was 8 weeks long, and I was like, I'm not going to physically read this, even though there are short chapters in here. Again, I bought this the same day Such Charming Liars came out, so I'm sad that I didn't get to it this summer, but again, hopefully this fall, which is why it's on this TBR, it will help me motivate me to get to it. And I know book 2 of the series is going to come out in July of next year, so that's a long wait for a sequel. Next one, I just need a person to buddy read this with. I have the audiobook already checked out from my Audible account. I actually use one of my monthly credits for it, and that is The Behemoth of When the Moon Hatch by Sarah A. Parker. This book, after the hype of Fourth Wing died down, this book blew up, and oh my goodness, it is so chunky, and it's a floppy paperback too, so yay for that. But also, why does it have to be this big of a book for a first book of an adult fantasy series. Again, book 2 is supposed to come out next year, so I don't know if I will read it this fall, but when I first thought about making this list, this book and a couple other fantasy books made it onto that list. So if you want to buddy read this one with me, because this is the main one that I'm nervous about, let me know, and hopefully we can do that. Next I have a Star Wars book, and it wouldn't be a Drew's Ambitious Reading video without having a Star Wars book in it, and that is Star Wars The Living Force by John Jackson Miller. This is one of the few Star Wars standalone novels that is part of the canon universe. This is set before The Phantom Menace or during The Phantom Menace. I can never remember. But we're following all of our amazing Jedi Council masters in this one, and because I pre-ordered this one earlier this year, I was able to get a signed book plate by the author for their pre-order goodies, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know too much about it. I usually go into my books very blindly, so sorry for not doing synopses. Synopsize? What is that word? Another first book of a series we have is Blood Like Magic by Leslie Sambury. I know my friend Clint over at Reads the Readers here on BookTube, he absolutely loved this duology, so I'm so stoked to see what this is all about. I tried reading this last fall and I just couldn't get into it at the time, so hopefully this time around I can, because I do own book 2, which I don't know why I do that, but I do. But yeah, I'm stoked to see if I will love this one, because my friend Clint did read this and loved it. So super nervous, but also excited at the same time. Then I have another one that I know my friend Clint will absolutely lose his mind over, is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. First book of a new series. These covers are stunning. I can't wait to own the rest of this universe. This is actually on my 5-star prediction video as well, so I'll leave that up above or in the description box below. So I'm hoping this is a 5-star read for me. Don't know too much about it again. It says, he is my pack, my mate, my alpha. Being the beloved fantasy romance sensation by New York Times bestselling author TJ Klune, about love, loyalty, betrayal, and family. All I really need to know about this one. And then we have a lot of sequels that I need to get caught up on, so I'm going to fly through my sequel stack real quick, if that's okay with you guys. So I have Ghostsmith by Nikki Peru-Peretta. I have Heart of the Sun Warrior and Tales of the Celestial Kingdom, both by Soon Lin Tan. Need to wrap up this duology soon. Wrath by John Gwynne, another behemoth of a book, also another person I need a buddy read with. And then another behemoth of a book, oh my goodness, is A Grim and Sunken Vow. Book 4 comes out in November, so you'll see that on my November new releases video soon. Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Don't know why I never got to this last year, but I didn't, so now it's perfect time for the fall season. Nightbane by Alex Astor. My friend Lori and I were supposed to buddy read this one this month, but Lori wasn't in the mood for a YA fantasy, so hopefully next month she will be. And then one more sequel before my battery dies on me, because I need to go charge it, is The Summer Queen by Rochelle Hansen. This is the second and final book of this duology, and I'm going to go before my battery dies on me. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of my video. Bye! Hello, bookish friends. Welcome and welcome back to part 2 of my fall TBR video. And so for today's video, I am here to talk about the rest of the books on my fall TBR. Like I mentioned in part 1, these are all the books I'm hoping to read over the next 3 months, maybe even a little bit of December, because some of these might get read in December. So the last book that I talked about in the video was Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. So I do have a couple more sequels to fly through for my TBR that I want to get to. Like, look at this. So without further ado, let's just jump into the second half of the video. So the next sequel that I want to try and get to. I think if I don't get to it this fall, I might unhaul this series, and that's only because I love book 1 but didn't love book 2. But I hear if you read book 3, the series gets better and better as you go on, and that is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. This is the 3rd installment of the Red Rising saga, not trilogy no more, but is a saga. There is 6 books out, with book 7 slated to come out in 2025. So if I do read this towards the end of this year, I won't have to wait too long for book 7. But these are the Nerdy Ink book covers. I get asked about what covers these are from all the time, so these are from Nerdy Ink. If they still have them in their shop, I will leave them down below. Not affiliated with them, but it will be nice if they do. But anyways, like I said, I love book 1, gave it 5 stars, and then I gave book 2 a 3 stars, which is not a bad rating, but it was definitely different from book 1. So I'm curious to see if I will love this, or if I just need to reread books 1 and 2 and then jump into book 3, because this series has been on my shelf for years now. Next I have is another middle grade series that I want to get to, and that is Keeper of the Lost City, Never Seen by Shannon Messenger. I was supposed to buddy read this series with my friend Mel over at Completely Melanie. She was hosting a read-along for all 10 of these books. Book 10 is not out yet, so I still have time to catch up, but I still need to read books 4 through 8, I think is how many are out right now. And so I'm on book 4, obviously, which is why I have it in my hands. But yeah, again, I just need somebody to motivate me to read this one, because I feel like I talk about the series every single time I make a TBR video. The next one, I also feel like this is always in my TBR video as well, and that is Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the 2nd book in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. Again, love book 1, don't know why I haven't continued on. I actually have book 1 on my TBR cart right here next to me, because I was hoping to reread book 1 this fall and then jump into book 2. I did started book 2 last year, but I never finished it. Let's see how far I got. Oh! Not too bad. I got 65 pages in on chapter 5, so I didn't get too far in, but I definitely will be restarting this one. I think I read this because I believe this was my book club pick for the month of November last year, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm still excited for Carrie's books. They are amazing covers, and I love her writing, so I just don't know why I haven't picked this series back up yet. But again, hopefully I'll reread book 1 and then jump into the sequel. This one I don't have to reread because I just reread book 1 this summer, and I actually love my reread more than the first time I read it, and that is House of Roots and Ruins by Aaron A. Craig. This is book 2 of the trilogy. Book 3 is coming out either next year or in 2026. I can't remember which year exactly, but I got this from Barnes & Noble, so when they had this sprayed edges, this is where I got it from. And I'm curious to see if I will love this one. This one has been getting low ratings so far, so I'm nervous about that. But again, I don't have to reread book 1, so I can just jump into book 2. And I had this on my shelf since it came out. So honestly, I just need to pick it up, and I think the fall season is now the time to read all the fall and spooky books that I have on my shelf. Fitting in with the theme of fall and spooky reads, I have The Everlasting Rose by Danielle Clayton. This is book 2 of the Bells trilogy. Love book 1. Don't know why I haven't picked up book 2 yet, but I got this one sent to me from Disney Books, so thank you so much, Disney, for sending me the whole set. And again, hopefully I'll binge read this trilogy this fall, because all I need to do is read books 2 and 3. Excited to continue on with this one. The next one I have is a series that I own all 4 books of, so I really need to get started on it. Again, this is another instant of maybe I need to reread book 1 and then jump into the rest, and that is The Exile Queen by Cynthia Williams Chima. This is book 2 in the Seven Realms series. I absolutely loved book 1, gave it 4 stars when I borrowed it from my library, and then I decided over the years, let's just collect them in paperbacks. My cousin actually introduced me this author. He was reading the Warrior Era series at the time, and he said, I like the series because I'm a huge fantasy reader, and he was right. I love that series, so I'm sad that I haven't read this one yet, but I keep buying her newer books because they're like newer and fresh, obviously, but I need to go back to her backlist series and read this one, and hopefully this time around I can. So those are all the sequels that I want to try and read this fall, and then I have a stack of first books of series. Actually, yes. These are all first books of a series, or they are standalones. So first one I have is These Rebel Raves by Sarah Rosh. This is a first of a completed duology, and I own books 1 and 2. I don't know where to put you guys. Then I have The Poison Season by Mara Rutherford. This is a YA fantasy standalone novel that I got from Owl Crate, I think last year or in 2022. When did he come out? Let's see. Oh, I went too far. Where's the copyright page? It came out in 2022, so yeah, it came out 2022, so I've been meaning to get to it, and hopefully I can get this off my Owl Crate list that I have in my bullet journal. Then another Owl Crate I need to get to is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this author, and again, this is one of those authors where I read her books in the fall time, and when I read them in the fall time only, I fall in love with her books. So I have a feeling I'm going to do this next month because I feel like this will be a good book to read in October. Then I have a first book of a series. I don't know when book 2 comes out, but book 1 came out last year. Yeah, last year, and that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this one, and I love the City of Dusk. Wow. City of Brass trilogy. Wow, fake fan. I love the City of Brass trilogy. I buddy read that with my friend Lori, so maybe Lori and I can buddy read this one. It is quite a chunky one, but I've been hearing nothing but good reviews for this first installment of a series. Speaking of Owl Crate, I would love to get to This Dark Descent by Kaylin Josephson. When I was thinking of going through my fall TBR list, this was like one of the first books that I can think of. I love the stenciled edges on this one. If I can find the unboxing for this month's book box, I'll leave it up above in the cards or down below. But yeah, when I first thought about making my list, this was like one of the first 5 books on that list that I came up with. Another first book of a series is The Isles of the Gods by Amy Kaufman. Again, another autobiography for me. Really love her writing, and book 2 of this duology actually just came out. It came out in September of this month, and I saw it in the bookstore, and I'm sad that I haven't picked it up yet, but hopefully soon I will. Maybe if I start book 1, I will pick up book 2 as a reward to myself, because it is a completed duology right now. Another Owl Crate book that I need to get to is Threads That Binds by Kika Hatsabalulu. I'm so sorry for butchering your last name. This is another stunning edition that I got from Owl Crate, and again, this fall I want to make a huge chunk into my Owl Crate list and also my Book of the Month list. Speaking of Owl Crate, we have Together We Burn by Isabel Ibanez. I'll try and find all these monthly boxes and I'll leave them down below. If not, just look on my channel for each of the Owl Crates unboxing. I just read What the River Knows by this author and absolutely loved it, and I'm dying for book 2. So hopefully I can read this one to have this one cure my book hangover that I have right now from What the River Knows. And this is a YA fantasy standalone novel, and I honestly love the fire on the cover. It's really cool, and it like wraps around on the back side as well, so that's pretty neat. I think there's dragons involved with this one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, an ancient city plagued by dragon, 18-year-old Zara is a talented flamingo dancer and daughter of the most famous dragon rider in Hespalila. I am so sorry butchering words. But yeah, YA fantasy standalone that deals with dragons, so I can't wait. I love a good dragon novel. And then this is a reread that I want to do, and this was one of my oldest owl crates, so I don't know if I was doing booktube at the time. But I would love to try and reread The Gilded Wolves by Shoshani Chakshay. I own books 1, 2, and 3 of this trilogy, so I would love to reread book 1 in order to jump into the rest of them. I think I pre-ordered books 2 and 3 without well, I read book 1 at the time, and then I pre-ordered book 2 because I was like, oh, I really enjoyed this. This was a 3.5 out of 5 stars when I read it the first time, so I'm curious to see what I'll think of it the second time around. This is getting compared to Six of Crows a lot, so I'm going to try and not think about that when I'm doing my reread of this one. But yeah, I would love to reread this in order for me to continue the series / hopefully wrap it up this year. If I don't wrap it up this year, I would at least love to read books 1 and 2 this fall. And then my last stack of books are more books that I think are perfect for the fall season, and I'm hoping to get to 5 Broken Blades by Mia Cortland. Book 2 comes out in January of next year, so if I don't get to it, maybe I'll just hold off and read this in the month of January. That way I don't have to wait too long for book 2. I do know my friend Taylor has a copy of that one as well, so maybe me and Taylor can buddy read that sometime soon. This one I am very excited for. I had this on my shelf since it came out, and that is Feybound by Sarah L. Arifi. First book of an adult fantasy trilogy, duology. Not sure how long this one is going to be, but again, I've been hearing nothing but amazing things, and she's the same author of The Final Strife. This next one is a Rainbow Crate book box that I need to get to, and that is Godly Heathens by H.E. Eggman. This is a first book of a fantasy duology that is completed, and honestly I need to get to this one because this is one of my e-arcs I have from NetGalley, and I'm trying to get my NetGalley score up. That way I don't get denied for all the books that I want to read next year. But yeah, hopefully this will get me my NetGalley score going up. If not, I'll be really sad. And then I have books that I knew were thriller books that I wanted to get to. So this is my thriller genre section. And Gabby from Gabby Reads would be happy with some of these. So I have Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Fredia Abiki Adiyami. I love this author. Ace of Spades was one of my favorite books of the year it came out. And I bought this over the summertime and I just never got around to reading it. So hopefully, again, this fall I will. This one I bought last year, and I just never got around to reading it either, and that was She Is a Haunting by Tran Tring. I am so sorry for butchering your last name. YA thriller that is a standalone novel, and it's quite short too, so maybe I'll start with this one and then read the rest of my books. Then I think this was Gabby's from Gabby Reads book club pick this year, and I haven't got to it yet, and that is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This has a podcast element in here, which I really love with my thrillers, so I'm excited for that. And I hear the audiobook is kind of like a podcast type of thing with the audio. So it's full cast, and I'm excited to dive into this one. All I know is it's an adult thriller standalone novel, so hopefully I'll love it. Speaking of adult thriller standalone novel, I have Hide by Kirsten White. I actually met Kirsten White last year in October, and I had a fun time meeting her. It was fun discussing all her YA books when I haven't read her adult books yet, but I was able to get a couple of the signed book plates that she had. This also came with it. It was a sneak peek to the Hide graphic novel, which I haven't got yet, but hopefully I will soon. But yeah, I got this book's to be a signed book plate, so I'm very excited for that. And then this one has been getting mixed reviews about it, but again, it's one of my shorter reads, so there's that. And speaking of short, spooky fall reads, we have another Kirsten White book that is also signed, and that is Sinister Summers, Book 1, Wretched Water Park. This is the first of a 6-book series, I think, or maybe 5. I don't remember how many is in here. Editing Me can let you know on the screen or down in the description box below. But again, one of my shorter reads, and hopefully I'll start this soon because I am looking for a good middle grade book to read this fall. I do know I want to get to Amari and the Great Games by B.B. Allison. I want to get to that one this fall as well. But yeah, this is the last book on my fall TBR. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I'm hoping to read this month, or this season. Have you read any of these books? Let me know what you thought of them down below. Which one of these should I read next? I'm just finished As Good as Dead, and oh my goodness, 5 stars, amazing trilogy, and now I'm on a book hangover because of that one. So I'll talk to you guys later in the comments. I hope you all have a great Sunday and a great rest of your September, and I'll chat with you down in the comments below. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, turn your notification on so you don't miss any new videos coming from me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and hit the like button while you're down there as well, and I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.